Good afternoon. It's already 12. So, firstly, before I start with my session, I would really like everyone to give a big round of applause for my panelists. It works well. So, our topic for this discussion is the brand story, how you connect with consumers. Apparently, that is one of my favorite talk points, to understand how well does brand understand their consumers in today. From core of consumers, now we want to get into the heart of consumers. So, before I start, I would like all of you to give your quick introductions on how your brand is connecting with consumers. Deepanshu, if we start with you.
Hi guys, good to be here and good afternoon everybody. Myself Deepanshu, I run a D2C brand called Zappfresh. We are the oldest in the meat category. We started in 2015 and we deal in fresh meat delivery at home. We are omni-channel, so not only D2C. It's been a fun ride. We are growing, launching new markets this year. Overall, enjoying a healthy, growth trajectory in the coming years. Looking at various new product lines as well to launch in the ready-to-eat, ready-to-cook segment. So overall, we look at disrupting the meat space, which is about $50 billion as a market size. It's huge, very, very unorganized. Hardly any, organized players are there. So we're very excited about moving forward in our journey to build a legacy brand, and happy to be talking to other people here.
Great. Nikita?
Hi everyone, this is Nikita and I'm the co-founder of the brand Winston Electronics and Milagro Beauty. I'll just brief you a little about my journey. I started in the year 2013 via Instagram, like that's the top page that that we started with. It was called Royalicious and we were selling international products on that page. And after a few years, I realized that if I have the capability to sell other brands, then why not have my own brand? And that's when I started the brand Milagro Beauty. Still doing well, 6 years this month today to that brand. And moving forward, I got married in 2020, pandemic hit. And from that page, I realized there was a product that we were selling really, really well, which is a face trimmer by the brand called Flawless. And, me and my husband, we were discussing that, this brand is not in India yet. And there's no after service that the product, even if, these sellers are giving in the market, but there's no after service that is being provided in the market. So why not have our own brand in this category? Personal electronics, personal care, DIY products that you can use at home in replacement to going to a salon. And especially, it was such a needed product during the pandemic. People cannot go to the salons, but it is still a necessity. So what to do? This was a replacement to that. That is how Winston started in 2020. And then, of course, we went to Shark Tank in a very short period of span, got the funding from Anupam and Vinita. Still doing really well and very excited to explore this industry. And like he said that he's disrupting another market, we are disrupting the salon industry and very excited to take this journey forward.
Akshay?
Hi guys, everyone. So I am Akshay. I'm the CEO for the brand Oceglow. We started very recently compared to all my other panelists. We started in 2020. We are basically a premium luxury brand. What we do is we are basically manufacturing from Korea. We don't say it as a K-beauty, but we are doing our own formulations. We have our own team that works on the formulations, and then we get them to Indian market. So a lot of people tell us, COVID was there, we started in the middle of COVID. So, for us, it was, how to, use that time, and help build our brand. So for COVID was actually something that helped us, we were able to build it online. So we scaled this brand online. We are a purely D2C brand. We are able to, we started with 2 products. We are very indie brand. We have 8 to 9 products in our range. What we focus on giving, that high performance skincare line. So what we do is, we manufacture our products using ingredients that are really good for your skin. We found a market where, a pre-makeup, it's kind of a pre-makeup market wherein, we use this as a pre-makeup regime, giving those benefits wherein, it helps your dark spots, it helps your blemishes, it helps with your anti-aging. And then we know it gives very high performance skincare line. So that's how we were able to build our brand. It's been, 3 years, 3.5 years, and we've done really well. We started, bootstrap the brand. We're still, self-funded, and we have grown it from where we were, and now we are. And this is how our journey has been. So I will get this to you.
Hi everyone. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. I'm Anshita, founder of Fixmycurls. We're a curly and wavy hair care brand. We make hair care products that help you embrace your naturally textured hair. Started 5 years ago. You can find us on Blinkit, Pan India now, Nykaa, Amazon, basically any marketplace you can think of. It's been a great journey, and of course, we've also had to disrupt the hair care market.
Thank you. Thank you, all the panelists. So, yes, our panel discussion is the brand story connecting with consumers. We will largely be focusing on how brands, through their storytelling, through their creative storytelling, through their narratives, are connecting with consumers in a way that they are able to recall, remember, and be attached to them. So, what I would like to actually know from all of you is that since all of you are a D2C brand, you have to deal with consumers directly. Of course, the tech is there that has disrupted the market largely. But before I come to that, I would like to know that how do you, maintain authenticity, especially when it comes to youngsters. They crave for authenticity. They want personalization. They want, to be able to resonate with the brand. How do you maintain that authenticity while maintaining your brand guidelines? Because it's not that you can do anything and everything. You have to have that mindset that, okay, my brand does this. So how do you create the Deepanshu, if I may ask you this?
Yeah, so we are farm to folk. For us, making authenticity is, our bread and butter. That's the only thing, which sets, us apart, because what we saw in the local markets when you consume meat in a very unhygienic environment, it was extremely dangerous to consume, products which are out of shelf life, expired, in meat as a category. People don't know, how old the meat is. That's the problem we are solving here. And how do we, look at that, tackling is all our meats are processed within 24 hours of consumption and then sold to the customer. So that journey itself, is a parameter for us to, consistently maintain quality and transparency and traceability, which is most important to us. And we've actually done some, campaigns where we've shown customers, how, the entire farm to fork, how do we do it, how do we procure, what are the standards we follow. So basically helping customers understand, what all you are doing, on the backside, from a quality point of view or any other, unique proposition which you offer to the customers helps a lot. And that way they're able to build trust. I remember initially when we started, I personally was speaking to customers, and they were extremely concerned about antibiotics and what's really going in the products, and we could only do so much, and we were very honest about it. So I think in a nutshell, I would say that you don't need to oversell as well in terms of genuinity and authenticity. Just tell them what you're doing, be honest about it, and do the entire traceability of the product as much as possible, and stay away from harmful chemicals. People don't want to either use it on the face as per other beauty care brands which are sitting here, and even consume inside your body. So I think that itself is a huge differentiator. If we all can take a responsible position there and showcase that journey to the customers, it becomes extremely transparent with them.
Understood. Anshita, on those lines, when we talk about authenticity, your brand works on hair care, on fixing the curls, wavy hair. I have wavy hair. I straighten my hair almost every day. So, how do you connect with your audiences, especially when it comes to today's people? There are so many glamorous roles that people have to play. They need their hair fixed, they need their clothes fixed, they need their face fixed. How do you create that authenticity with your brand?
So firstly, I wear my hair curly. I don't straighten them. I think that's the first step. So if you meet me anywhere, it doesn't matter what event it is, my hair will always be curly. I don't feel the need to straighten them anymore. But like you said, there's a lot of people and a lot of consumers that we have to convince and help them understand that, you know, your hair can be beautiful in its natural state as well. You don't have to straighten it. That's not the only thing you have to do for the rest of your life, because honestly, your hair will start to fall off in clumps, and that's when you'll realize, okay, now I need to maintain my natural texture, because what's going to grow out of your scalp cannot change, right? Doesn't matter what treatment you get or what a salon sells you, does not work. Your hair will grow out the way that it genetically is supposed to grow out. So firstly, I think for us, educating customers about the reality of your genetics and how your hair grows out has to be very true to the brand, and it helps us maintain our authenticity. Secondly, as a founder, I'm in a lot of ads. I tell my own story, and my story is very close to what our customer story is going to be, right? So that's why they can really relate to it. Also, you know, I've seen other hair care brands not showing actual results. It'll often be honestly photoshopped, and they change a lot of things. And trust me, consumers today will find out. So if it's not the actual result, in some time they'll be able to tell. And anyway, if your product doesn't work, no matter how authentic you are or how much money you put into ads, people will not buy it again. So I think the first thing is, as a founder, if you're going to be putting yourself out there and saying, you know, whether it's skincare, makeup, or anything in personal care, you should be using your own products. You have to champion your own products. I think that's like the first step to authenticity, especially if you're going to be on social media, because people are watching you.
So I wanted to add one thing to this thing. So generally what happens is, you know, even for us, like as a skincare brand, we try to do as much as user generated content. We want our audience or our customer base to know, you know, that this is the genuine, you know. So personally, we also use the same products as she mentioned. You know, the founders or, you know, people involved in growing the brand should be more passionate and should use the products. So, you know, we try to focus, you know, more on users rather than influencers to get more and more people to, people should see, you know, a lot of, customers are actually using our products and they genuinely are giving those kinds of feedback. Also, we feel, you know, it should not be just, you know, we should have more of, you know, clear and ingredient listings. So what happens is, as a skincare brand, we try to be as transparent as possible, you know, have that all the ingredients and their benefit listed on the packaging and the website. So, you know, a lot of the companies I see, sometimes they don't disclose, you know, certain ingredients, or they just give, you know, like these are more active and this is the benefit that you will get. But we try to be very open. We give, you know, whatever ingredients we have in our products, we are very transparent and open to that. And whatever, you know, failures or challenges we face, we are very open to our customers. So, you know, it helps us, you know, be more credible and connect with our audience. So I think that is very important, be more transparent and authentic, because this will really help, you know, in, you know, long term. Because any credibility or any transparency will always be a long term thing rather than a short term game. That's what I feel.
Okay, so transparency, what I understood out of the three of you is transparency is vouched for at the beginning. Got it. Nikita, since you mentioned that, you know, you went to Shark Tank, you got the funding. Now, when we talk about authenticity specifically, how do you maintain your brand guidelines when you're, you know, in the market? Because naturally, of course, now you have two other people who are, you know, on your head. How do you maintain that connect with the consumers by being authentic, by what all our panelists said, by being transparent, and also being accountable there at the back end?
Okay, so both of my brands are Instagram babies, I would like to call them. Like social media is, they've born via like, you know, Instagram, I would say. Like that's what we have kind of coined upon, like, you know, because like I said that, you know, on Royalicious, I thought that there's a community that we've built. That is the kind of relationship I still look forward with, you know, building a community. There might be another brand selling the same product. If I talk about Winston or even if a skincare brand, you know, there are so many brands. Every day a new brand is coming up. But how do you connect is the kind of community that you're building. And by that, I mean to say that by the content, of course, and, you know, tapping on the micro influencers rather than going for macro influencers, because that creates more connectivity with the consumers. Like if you see like a small influencer, you know, talking about a brand, even if that person has like a 2,000 followers, They are genuine and they know that this person is not communicating 10 other brands on the same day as, she's talking about the brand Winston or Milagro. That is first. And when you talk about Shark Tank, the kind of authenticity that we have got, honestly, today any brand can go to Shark Tank if they have good numbers. The consumers will also buy that brand. But that is for once, right? Then you have to, there's a glue, there's a stick that you have to maintain that. How do you do that? The kind of services that you are giving after sales. And, the product should talk for itself. You don't have to do anything, honestly. If your product is good, the consumer is going to come back. You're going to have a good returning rate. For our Winston product, if I talk about, because there's a 1-year warranty with the product, we don't expect the consumer to return very soon. Unless the person wants to try, another product from our range. But the kind of services that we are giving makes us authentic and makes us connect to them. If we are giving them QR codes, we are giving them guidelines, how to, hairstyle, make your hairstyles when you're using our product. So these are small things that you connect your consumer with. Because if, another brand is doing the same thing, how are you connecting? So just these small things kind of connect. And Shark Tank and, funding that you are talking about, a lot of brands can get. Your product should have, product mein dam hona chahiye. Is only then when, you can scale it, your brand. Otherwise, what's even the point of, having a red bottom line and, getting the funding and then just showing numbers in your books? What's the point of that? I know that some founders are doing it, but that's not what our ethos say, That's not what we want to create in the industry.
Okay. Uh, Deepanshu, when we talk about, because the rest of our panelists are into skincare, I do hair care as well. When we talk about, you're into a section which is, meat food section. How do you, because it's a very difficult way to connect with consumers when you deal with meat. How, because it can be sensitive as well to some people. How do you measure your, metrics when you promote or when you, create your storytelling formats? How do you connect with, how do you, evaluate the consumer engagement there?
So I think the best metrics is dhanda kitna aa raha hai, frankly. There's no other metrics, no matter what we say. Engagement is, good to talk about, but doesn't really feel good, in the pocket. So we are very bottom line driven. In fact, we are the only profitable brand in the category till date. We've last 2 years we've PAT positive at a company level. So we are very, as she rightly mentioned, bottom line driven, and we appreciate repeats. That is number one, that the customer is coming back. And number two is that they're trying new products, because they will only try additional products, new products, when they trust has been built on the primary products, the star products which are there. So I think this is good enough, to understand and come to a conclusion that they want you and they like you and they would like to be with you for future if you continue what you're doing, which is work on loyalty. A lot of times what has happened with us, we've lost a certain customers, and we brainstormed about how do we get them back, because when you start as a new business you do some mistakes, and then there is a customer experience issues also which everybody goes through. So we do some tactical campaigns which drive them to buy back again. Some win back campaigns work very well, where we help them understand, okay, we've improved now, we understand you had a bad experience. So it's just, first of all, hitting it right on the head by accepting what really is going on in the overall experience, communicating that to the customer. That rebuilds a lot of trust if you lose it, and then builds momentum on your repeats, and that is something which we believe a lot in, that if there is a repeat, then we are doing everything right. And to get that, there are different tactics, different campaigns to bring them to you.
So I want to add to Deepanshu's this thing, So for us, being into a luxury sector, for me personally, I've seen, a customer's lifetime value is more important, because for us, we're not a mass brand. So for us to get, a 50,000 consumer or 100,000 consumer is very difficult. So that 5,000 customers and that single customer spending, buying repeat and giving much more time in terms of, those referrals, those purchases, those loyalty and all, that is more important for a luxury brand like us. Because I've seen, what you say is customer lifetime value. For a luxury brand, that's the most important thing, and a repeat purchase, because it is very difficult to sometimes to for a masses to buy a higher end product. So it's more based on your engagement, your content, but at the end of the day very limited audience, but then you need to have that kind of a repeat audience with you. So that only happens if your brand is has built that kind of credibility, and not just that, but also I feel for brands, brand mentions, I've realized, whether it's influencer marketing, whether it's social media mentions, on various platforms or even marketplaces, that's also plays very important role in terms of your metrics, because that helps giving that kind of credibility and increasing that kind of business. Because yeah, at the end of the day सेल आनी चाहिए, मतलब पैसा बनना चाहिए, एंड वो तभी बनता है जब कस्टमर, एक ये भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि दिखना चाहिए, जब दिखता है तभी बिकता है. बिकॉज आज मैं अगर एक बार 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 नहीं दिखाऊंगा किसी को, तो वो कस्टमर भी आज ऐसा बन गया कि एक बार देख के छोड़ देता है, और जब तक 10 बार नहीं देखता वो नहीं बाय करता. सो आई फील पर्सनली दैट्स हाउ वी शुड बी.
That's the power of marketing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, Nikita, you also have been telling that your both the brands are social media babies. It's Instagram babies. Sorry, I'll correct myself. So now in this digital age, how are you connecting with various customers? Because beauty again is a product that even a 60-year-old woman or man wears today, and even to be honest, I've seen reels with 14, 15-year-olds doing that, basic makeup. So, which is very not pleasing to my eyes, but okay. So, how do you deal with that when you have consumers who are Gen Alpha? I'm not even coming to Gen Z. I mean, they're even younger to them, as well as boomers. How do you maintain your storytelling? How do you connect with those, both the sets of audiences with your products and with your brand story?
So, Reema, if I talk about beauty in general, like I said that, we are building a community, and, the audiences are very, very smart. We all know that. And Akash just mentioned that he mentions ingredient list. If a brand, in Milagro, we mentioned that, it's Ayurvedic. So, the community is such, there are so many people, so many products out there, the mucin is trending, AHAs are trending, so many chemicals are trending. But if the audience does not want to go ahead with those, chemicals, and they are a community who only wants real ingredients. If the ingredients are mentioned, it is Ayush approved, it is vegan, and there's a big market who just want to promote vegan products. So, it's not really about the Gen Z or the millennials or, the age that you're talking about. A 50-year-old could be, wanting to try a product which is vegan and not going for a product which is, synthetic based. So it's about the want and the need of the consumer rather than the age. It's not, skincare is, of course, there are ages that you do not like a 14-year-old using a, beauty product. That's true. But we are building a community, and that community needs to think on the same lines. That is what we are moving ahead with. So that's the thought process that we have.
When you spoke about, Instagram babies, Instagram is highly driven by millennials and Gen Z and now Gen Alpha. Boomers are there, but you won't find them very active the way the new generation, the youth is rather, right? So are you looking at the target audience that is be able to resonate with the youth?
Of course,
Only is what I meant. Youth only.
Like I said, we are not specifically targeting just the youth, because we also have products which are anti-aging, collagen boosting. And unless and until you turn 30, you do not need a product which you need for collagen boosting, right? Because how will I ask a youth, somebody of 22-year-old, to promote a collagen boosting product? That does not make sense. So it's an overall community that we are building, like I mentioned in the first place. And just how we are, storytelling, as you mentioned, recall value, as you mentioned, it's how we hit the consumer mind, narrating that, we are ingredient driven, mentioning those ingredients on the thank you cards, maybe that, we are vegan, maybe giving a thank you card, plant with the seed, that is how we are telling ourselves. But it's really not about targeting a specific set of people because we don't want to lose out on others, right? So, for example, in Winston, we are hairstyling tools. Why do we leave professionals? Why do we need the consumers, which is just sitting at home? Why do we need a college going, why do we leave a college going girl and not target, everybody? So, we are not really, focusing only on one set of people. It's the entire community.
Okay. Same goes for
And
you.
yeah, one more thing I want to add, this community has become so big, why I'm saying community, but because it's really, really relevant, because somebody who cannot, for example, there was a hair care brand built, made in Morocco. And, when somebody saw that, this is a Morocco brand, this was made in Israel. Some people actually started not to buy the product. Starbucks is receiving backlash today. So many brands receive backlash. Like I said, Mucin. If me, making a vegan brand and I tell you that, I'm a non-vegetarian, what are even my ethos? So that is the power of community and storytelling. Like imagine me using like a two-step skincare
like
wherein
this last.
the first product I'm using is like a mucin and then I use my own brand moisturizer. Where do I stand? The audiences really connect. It's that connectivity that I'm talking about. And the founder, like me, her, or anybody else, coming in front, showing their face. I know we're running short of time, so I think I'll let everybody speak.
So,
Yeah.
Anshita, your last thoughts on this, that how do you deal with the consumers of various dimensions in this digital age?
We don't. Short answer. As a brand, you have to choose your target audience and stick to them and create content for them, products for them, build for them. We realized, now 5 years into the journey, that my audience right now is 18 to 25-year-olds. And anyone above 25 isn't currently willing to change their hair care routine that they've been doing for the last decade, right? They're not in that space of mind right now. Like you said, you want to straighten your hair, so you will straighten your hair. So for us, because we were first movers, we disrupted a specific section of the hair care industry. We also need disruptors as consumers. We need people that want to purchase a product that they've never tried before and use it and tell other people about it. And for us, that was the 18 to 25 group of people. And to be honest, for me, reaching that 30 plus or 40 plus age group may not happen right now. Some other brand may do it that's at a higher price point. But we realize that if we focus on this age group, not only do we get a better return on ad spend, but they stick around. They're willing to try new products that we launch. But today, if I start focusing on the segment of consumers that are using a Dyson, which is for 30,000 rupees, they maybe don't want to buy a 500 rupee, curl cream. They're in a different stage of life, right? So for us, it's become, if agar ek community hai or ek group of consumers hai and that's working for you, honestly focus on them and make sure their customer love is a 10 on 10 all the time. Because if you spread yourselves too thin as a brand, I don't know, you're not really focused or talking to anybody, are you? You're just talking to everyone.
That's a perfect end to say that we don't. We have a target audience. But thank you so much, all of you. Thank you so much for the time. Our time is up. So I would have liked to take some questions, but we do not have time and they will kill me. But okay. Thank you so much, dear panelists.